Hello there. So in this video, I'm going to show you how your biggest competitor in San Jose, which is Bay Area Tree Specialist, is essentially getting all the business in the area. And this is something that you're able to follow along. That way you're able to see that I'm not bluffing, I'm not making things up, and it's going to show it to you. So I typed in tree removal in San Jose. You're able to go to your iPhone or your Android or your laptop and type this in, and you can follow with me. So you see that there's ads here. People are paying ads. These are ads right here. And you see down here, you find all these local businesses, and where do you see? You see Bay Area Tree Specialists. We go down here, we see Yelp, 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 and then we see Bay Area Tree Specialists here. So what are we able to tell from this? Well, San Jose, California has over 1 million people located in the city. And not every one of those 1 million people are going to get a tree removed. However, you're able to tell that because there's a lot of people are going to get their trees removed. Now, Bay Area Tree Specialist shows up here and they show up down here, which means they're going to get a lot of calls. And why am I saying that? Because it's just instinct. Whenever you want to get a tree removed, you're probably only going to go through somewhere on the first page. You're not going to go and click on the third page and look for these sites and look for sites back here. You're most likely going to stick with the first page. It makes the most sense. So you're not going to go down here and look for a San Jose tree removal company because no one's going to do that. You go to the first page and you stay there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you why that's the case. So we have this article from a research company called Search Engine Watch. And this company does research on internet stuff like this. So when we scroll up, it says that #1 position in Google gets 33% of the search traffic. What does that mean? That means that if we are looking at the competition, if we're looking at the #1 people that are doing tree removal in San Jose, that means the first person is getting 33%. So we're not looking at the ads. You're able to pay and get ads, however, we're not looking at that. We're looking at this, the organic. So this is getting 33%. This Yelp page is getting 33%. So you may want to get yourself on Yelp. However, if we go down and we look at the article, it says, as we scroll through it, #1 gets 33. That means out of 100 people, 33 are going to stop by here first. #2 gets 18, so 18 people will stop by here. #3 gets 11, so 11 people will stop by. #4 is 8, then 6, then 4, and it keeps going down. Here are the exact numbers right here: 33, 18, 11, 8, 6, 4, and so on. So you're able to tell that the top 5 people get most of the business, and the bottom 5 just like get whatever is left. They barely even add up to 10%. If you look at it, 4 plus 3, like what? 4 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2. It essentially, the bottom 5 barely get 10%, and these top like essentially scoop up most of the business. A lot more than the bottom ones, way more than like 60 or 70% or something like that. So how does that translate into this? It shows that these guys right here, because Bay Area Tree Services knows how to get seen #3, so that's 11%, and #4, that's like what, 8%. They're essentially getting a decent amount of business just based off their web properties, and because they're on the first page, that's where they're getting most of their business. If we scroll down, we see that the first page gets 91% of the traffic. What does that mean? That means 91 people out of 100 are going to click on a business on the first page. So if your business is on the second page, down here, or lower, you're not getting anything. So let's analyze Bay Area Tree Specialists and let's see what they're doing so you're able to copy them. So here's their website, and you're able to see that they have a lot of things going on for them. They have a lot of pages, they have a lot of great information, and as we can tell back here, they're #3 in the maps, and they're down here. Obviously, there's more people in the maps down here, however, no one cares because that takes effort. You have to click on it to find them, and that's too much work. You might as well just be in the top 3 and make most of the money from this anyways. So let's go back and let's see what Bay Area Tree Specialist is doing and how they're getting so many calls. So we're able to see that they have a nice looking website. They have their home advisor thing going on. And if you look right here, if we make the screen small, you see how the screen fits along with the sides. Like when we make the screen smaller, it fits with it. That's called being responsive. You want your website to be responsive because that's one of the things that Google looks at. If your website essentially, if I have to scroll to the left and right to see your full page. That's not a good thing. These guys do it where that I don't have to scroll in order to make the page, in order to make the screen fit. It fits no matter what size I make it, and you want your website to be just like that. You also see that they have a lot of content on their page, which is very great. So if your home page had a lot of content, had these certificates and ISA and TCIA and all that stuff that shows you're credible in your Yelp reviews, your business will look a lot more legit and it will look a lot better. You also see how they don't just have like one page, they have this, they have 2 pages on their about, they have a blog, they have multiple pages. So the more pages you have, the better it is because your website looks more credible. Imagine if you were looking for something, you were looking for a service or a business, and the one thing that always shows up first is always like Wikipedia. Whenever you type in someone's name, Wikipedia shows up. Whenever you want to find something out, Wikipedia usually shows up. And why? Wikipedia has so much information and content on their site that it essentially makes their site credible. So if you're able to have a lot of information on your site, just like these guys, it makes your site look a lot more credible, and it essentially makes your site stand out more, and Google rewards you by putting you in the higher search results. Now again, we're just saying this stuff because all this information leads to you being seen in the higher search results like this. All the information leads you to becoming higher in these search results. If you're down here, you see how the minute you get to like page 2, which is where 11 starts, you get like 1%, so you get nothing. So you want your site to be seen in these higher results. And these are some ways, for example, making your website responsive, having review sites like Yelp and HomeAdvisor and stuff like that, having better content, having more pages, having a responsive website, all that stuff is what we're doing in order to propel you up here. That way you get more calls and you get more business. Now, these are just some things that we're just here to show you. We hope that you find this information valuable, and this is just going to be an introduction to who we are. So obviously, SK Marketing, number and email and all that good stuff. And this is essentially the person who's speaking to you behind the screen. So what we want to do is essentially show you how to get more customers and how to get more people to essentially run over to your business. Again, if you just go to skmarketing.com, you're going to find all this information. Homepage, you click here and all that good stuff. And this is just to show you, it's just a little blur. However, the main reason we want to show you this is because in San Jose, there's a lot of people calling for tree removals, and you're losing out to people like Bay Area who are scooping up all the business. And if you're able to figure out what they do and essentially reverse engineer their process, you're able to climb up the ladder and get your business seen. That way you get more phone calls and you start receiving the bigger percentage. You start receiving like the lion's share of this 91%, and you don't let it go to your competition like Bay Area Tree Specialists. So with all that being said, we hope you found this video, and we look forward to talking to you soon to get you more customers and more tree jobs.